Hello everyone, I'm Kim and welcome to my sewing room. I hope you're all really well and are having a lovely day. I see that you're really enjoying this series of videos that I'm doing on my makes of 2024. So this video is all about pyjamas. Now in 2024 I made 4 sets of pyjamas. I made 3 for myself and 1 for my daughter, and before 24 I had never made pyjamas at all. I never felt a need for them, and because I had been going through the menopause for a number of years beforehand, the thought of wearing something in bed that might generate additional heat was madness. But I decided, I really would like to have a go at making some pyjamas. So I found a pattern, the S9217, and I set about making my first set of pyjamas. Now, this really illustrates how my sewing process works, because I will generally make a garment up pretty close to what the instructions indicate in the pattern, and then I will wear the finished garment for a while, and then I will decide whether I want to go up a size, make the sleeves longer, make the waistband looser, and then I will revisit it and make changes to the pattern, and then make a second garment from the adjustments that I've made. And even making a second garment, I will find that if I still need to make tweaks, I can, and usually by my third make I have got the fit just right for me. So all of these pyjamas, though they're the same pattern, they have actually got something different about them, and it was just part of the process that I normally follow when I make up any garment. The sizing for me suggested that I should make a large top and an extra large bottom. So looking at the pattern and my narrow shoulders, I decided to make a medium top and grade out to a large on the hips and make an extra large bottom, and that's what I did. But when I was cutting out the fabric, I think I got a little bit frightened because I'd traced off the pattern, so I'd had the pattern laid out on my fabric, and I think I got a little bit concerned that maybe the top would be too tight and then it would be restrictive when I was in bed. So on a whim, I decided to cut the back panel out with a little bit extra so that I could fold it into the neckline, and that's what I did. I put this pleat into the back of the pyjamas, and I didn't really need that. It wasn't needed because obviously this set of pyjamas comes with a lot of built-in ease, so I didn't need to do that. So I knew that that would be changed on my second make. So the other thing I did was I put in a pocket, and the pocket was having a bit of fun with the fabric, so I pattern matched the pocket, and my husband laughed at me because he said, "Who's going to actually notice that you've pattern matched your pocket on your pyjamas, because you're going to go to bed in the dark?" So I thought, yeah, well, it's just me. I just enjoyed doing it, and it was just a little bit more practice with pattern matching. So I pattern matched my pocket and I put some piping around it to make it stand out. So for me, it's just a nice little finishing touch to my first pair of pyjamas. And I also put these beautiful buttons on that I had in my stash, so they work really well with this fabric. So on the bottoms of my first set of pyjamas, I decided to do the fly. So I put a fly into the bottoms, really because when I was cutting out the fabric, I didn't really know what it was. I just cut it out and just thought it was an unusual shape on the pattern, but I cut it out, and then I realised as I was going through the pattern instructions that it was actually a fly. So I thought, well, I'll have a go at doing it. I hadn't done a fly before, and there were moments where I got confused because there are so many lines to it and markings, but I figured it out in the end. And I thought I really need to maybe practice the fly more. So even though I've got the fly in my first pair of pyjamas, I'd stitched the fly up because obviously I don't need a fly, but that fly has come in really useful because when I put my bottoms on, it does indicate to me which is the front of my bottoms and what's the back. So it has helped me when I'm putting these on late at night to put them on actually the right way. So on my second set of S9217 pyjamas, I started to tweak. So first of all, I got rid of the pleat. I didn't need the pleat because the pyjamas were roomy enough and they had plenty of ease in them. I did keep my sizing the same, so I did a medium at the top and graded out to a large for the hips, and I kept my bottoms at an extra large. So I was happy with the sizing. But with the first pair, the top had this a fold over facing in the front, and it was interfaced around the collar and also interfaced down the other side. And the interfacing was effectively neatened on the back, but it was held down by either the buttonhole or the button. And I decided I didn't really want the any of the interfacing to show, because sometimes you get the interface and it rolls forward and you can see sort of in between the buttonholes and where the interfacing was. So I decided that I wanted to stitch all of my interfacing down. So this part of the front, which is folded to the back, I stitched down. So it's all nice and neat, stitched down, and there's no turning over and seeing the wrong side and any of the interface, and so none of that shows. So I was quite pleased with that, and I think it gave a much more professional feel to the front of my pyjamas. I carried on the same theme with putting some contrasting piping around the pocket. So I quite like that little feature that I did on my first pair. So that worked out really nice and looks quite effective. Also, for some reason, I don't know why, I decided I would shorten the top on this version. So I shortened the top by a couple of inches, and it wasn't the right decision to make, because when I get into bed, you know, when you curl up slightly, I find that the back has been cut too short, that it exposes my back very slightly, and you get a little bit of cold air on your back. And I thought, yeah, my next make I'll revert the length of the top back to its original sizing. So that didn't work. And I also decided to put in some labels. So I got a label in the top part of my pyjamas which says stitched with love, and in the bottoms, because I removed the fly, because obviously I didn't want the fly in the bottoms, I put another label. I can't find my bottoms. Right, here they are. So I removed the fly from these, and I just put a label in the back of these pyjama bottoms which just says made by me. So it just makes it easier for me to figure out what is the back of my PJs. So that worked really well. So that was my second set of pyjamas. So I'm nearly there with my perfect fit. So I got to my third set of pyjamas and had a really good understanding of the pattern and how that pattern fitted my body. So I started playing around, just slightly tweaking it a little bit more for a better fit. So with my third set, I made it in this beautiful Lady McElroy fabric. And now you have seen this fabric before, because I bought 5 meters of this fabric, and I bought 5 meters originally just to make up the pyjamas. But by making up the pyjamas quite a few times, I realized that with clever pattern placement, instead of using the 4.6 meters, it suggested I only in the end used 2.7 meters. And the reason why it recommended the 4.6 meters was because it said you needed 2.3 for the top and 2.3 for the bottoms, but it didn't give you the amount of fabric you needed if you decided to make both of them up. So obviously when I bought my fabric, I thought, oh, I need 2.3 for the top and the same for the bottoms. But when it came to actually placing the pattern pieces on the fabric, obviously you can move some of the bottom fabric into the top and vice versa. And what I did do is on my project sheet for future reference, I made a little drawing, you can see, of where I've placed the pattern pieces, so I know next time when I come to make this I'll follow my little drawing to save myself fabric again. So that was the fabric, and the changes I made to this was I reverted the top back to its original length so that when I'm in bed I don't get that little gap in the back and get a cold back. So I reverted back to the original length, and I kept the top as a medium, but instead of grading out to a large, I decided to do a tummy adjustment. Now I will put in the description a link to the video where I show the tummy adjustment, and I decided to do that because I thought I would get a better amount of fabric evenly spread just around the front. I'm not bothered about the back because the back fit okay, but I just wanted a little bit of extra fabric in the front because got a bit of a tummy at the moment and I just wanted it still to be comfortable. So I did a tummy adjustment instead of grading out to a large size, and that has worked out really well. Also on this top, I continued to do my stitching down of the facing and stitch that down so there's no movement there. I didn't put a label onto the top, didn't feel it really needed it, and I didn't really want to put one there just in case it irritated, though my second pair's got a label in the top and it hasn't irritated me, and I think because the label's been stitched flat, but on this pair I haven't bothered. And oh yes, because I did a tummy adjustment, I decided that with the pocket I would put that on after I had finished the top. And the reason for that is when you do the tummy adjustment, you get a spread of the bottom of the garment, and sometimes it can distort the pocket and make it look like it's been put on wonky. So I decided that I would wait until I had finished the top and then just put the pocket on afterwards so that I could line it up just by viewing where I wanted it to go, and that also worked out. And I put some piping around this one, though I haven't put it in a very contrasting colour, but it still works, and I love it, and I love these pyjamas, they are so nice. So with the bottoms, I haven't changed the bottoms at all. The bottoms have worked right from the beginning, other than the fly. So obviously I've kept the fly out, and all I do is I just put a label into the back of the pyjamas so that I know what is the back and what's the front. So those pair of pyjamas have worked out lovely, and I really like them. They are my favourites. So now I feel I have got a pair of pyjamas which fit me really well, and now when I want to make them up, my pattern's already been adjusted and it is ready to go, and I have all of my project sheets with this information on, so I can refer back to them for information just to make sure that I get a better fit going forward. So really happy with those. So the fourth pair of S9217s were actually from my daughter, and my daughter's a lot smaller than me, and the nice thing is I could just trace off a medium for the top and a large for the bottom. She wanted a short sleeve top and she wanted short bottoms. So the top, straightforward. I made it so many times I could make these in my sleep now. So the top was just made in this beautiful fabric, and yet again you will notice this because I made a Marnie out of this fabric, and I had enough left to make her a pair of these pyjamas. So lovely cotton lawn again, and did the interfacing, stitched it down, no different there. Pocket with the contrasted piping on, so that worked really nice. And I also found these wonderful buttons. They're triangular shape, smooth edged triangular shape, and the colour just matched perfectly to the fabric, and they are quite big, but I just thought they looked lovely, and they seem to get lost in the fabric, which is quite nice. So I didn't put a label in them as before, and she was really pleased with them. They fit really nicely, so she got a nice pyjama top. The bottoms were slightly different because she wanted the shorter version, but she didn't want them short. She wanted them longer. She wanted them to sit just above her knee. So I did extend these by 6 inches. So they do sit about 2 inches above her knee, which she wanted them. She didn't want them short. And so I made up like all the others, about the fly, and a beautiful label put in, stitched with love for my little girl. So they are the 4th pair of 9217. So really pleased with all of them, and I think I will be revisiting pyjamas again in 2025 because I have embraced pyjama wearing, and they're just such a nice thing to wear to bed. They're nice and cool, and I can see myself just wearing them all year round. So they are here to stay and be a major part of my wardrobe. So I think that's it for this video. If you've enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, it would be lovely if you could. And I will see you tomorrow for the next one in my series of Makes 2024. Bye.